Hello everyone, I'm day weather meteorologist Don Day with your Public Lands Council weekly weather update for this July 13th, 2024. It's being brought to you by Ag Risk Advisors and WSR Insurance Services Incorporated. The weather, as we take a look at what's coming over the next week, we saw a lot of heat in the far west, the west coast, the Pacific Northwest, the Great Basin, the desert Southwest. That heat has spread into the Rockies and into the western high plains. And what we're going to see is the very hot weather in the west move more into the central United States and the southern and southwestern United States over the next week. So after a cool start to July in many areas, things are heating up. Now we are going to see a return to subtropical moisture in the west, which should increase thunderstorm chances and bring needed rain. We've got some real dry areas that could use a shot of rain, especially after all this heat. Chances of rain are going to get a little bit better over the next 7 days. And overall, for the rest of July into early August, as you would expect this time of year, kind of reaching its peak in terms of heat and very warm summer conditions here over the next 4 weeks. Over the last week, you can certainly see where the remains of Hurricane Beryl went all the way through the Gulf Coast states and areas through the Midwest up into the Great Lakes, but drier out west. Only spotty activity over Montana, Wyoming, the western slopes of Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado in dry, as well as the Four Corners area. Arizona's dried out, and then you can see all the heat and dryness in the far west. The upper Midwest still wet. What we will see is a little bit more of a westward push of the subtropical moisture, leading to better chances of needed rain showers and thunderstorms in the west over the next 7 to 10 days. We talked about a cool start to the July forecast period. July was off to a cool start in the nation's midsection, but heat along the East Coast. There's the extreme heat in the Pacific Northwest, California, into the interior and Great Basin states. We're going to see the heat, though, now move into the middle part of the country. That's going to even things out in terms of the temperature anomaly. The latest drought monitor is showing some growth in the dryness in Wyoming and Montana with the yellow shading there. This moderate drought area in southeastern Montana, eastern Wyoming, western Nebraska, and the Front Range of Colorado continues to grow. It was a very dry April and May and June in those areas, and we're really seeing that while there's been improvement elsewhere. Dryness also expanding in the Pacific Northwest. If you look at areas in yellow, this is the drought monitor change in the last 2 weeks. The yellow areas show where there's been basically a backwards progression in drought conditions where it's gotten drier. The yellow areas is where there's been a drought change. The green areas in southwest Colorado, western New Mexico, northeastern New Mexico there, southwest Kansas, southeast Colorado, there's been some improvement. But the yellow areas showing where there hasn't been. Now, over the next 7 days, we talked about subtropical moisture moving further west. You see this moisture in Mexico? That's going to lead to better shower and thunderstorm coverage in Arizona, New Mexico, the Four Corners area, Utah, western Colorado, western Wyoming, but Front Range and Plains areas. Then into the Midwest, you're going to see some of this subtropical moisture leading to better chances for showers and thunderstorms. Not nearly as wet in Iowa, eastern Nebraska, parts of the Northwest Corn Belt that actually could use some drier weather. Well, they're going to get it. Temperature-wise, it's warmer. This is what we talked about. The last half of July is going to be hotter than the first half, especially in the Rockies and the adjacent plains, where temperatures across western Canada through the western and central United States, all that orange shading there, showing above average temperatures. At least for the next week. That will probably continue for the week after that. Have yourself a good week ahead. Be ready for the heat. Hopefully some thunderstorms will visit your area and bring you some needed rain. That's something that we may see develop next week. Have yourself a good week ahead and stay cool.